Hi. Nobody here at the moment but me. Yes, I am a little late. But I remembered I'd left the bathroom window open, so I went to close it. Oh, good evening, Nathan. How are you doing? Got me drink. That's another thing I like to get. That's why I'm late. I thought, oh, no drink. Can't do much without me drink. It's not tea, by the way. It's coffee. Hi, Amelia. I've just cast on another cardigan. No, it's not white. It might look white, but it's actually cream. I'm doing the same old boring cardigan I always do. The weather was a lot warmer. We don't get the heat waves here because we're too close to the sea, and so the wind comes across, and stops it getting too hot. But it was quite nice. And I did sort of get my washing mostly dry. So, hi Esther, hi Sandra, hi June. Yeah, just cast on. Same pattern, same pattern. Couldn't be bothered going in the shed and finding another one, and I do like this pattern. I do like that one there, with the long sleeves. Made it several times. I'll have to put something different buttons on this one though, because otherwise I might think it's the white one when I grab it. Because it's very sort of off-white, this colour. It isn't really a good cream, but it was what I had, and I'm not going to buy any more. Using up what I have. Stash busting, as we call it. So we'll see how we go. So how is everybody today? Hope you're all feeling well. I'm still under the weather. I've got a blood test tomorrow morning. I like the blood donor, Tony Hancock. What, you're taking a whole half pint? I had a conversation with my GP. You never get to see them these days. Over the phone, and of course he diagnosed me over the phone. Oh, it's IBS and it's very difficult to treat, blah, 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 blah. And I thought, well, that's no consolation to me, is it? Because I'm losing weight hand over fist. I'm not bothered about that, because I do need to lose some weight, but it's a bit disconcerting to be losing weight when you're not even trying, isn't it? All right. Hello, Ella. Hello. So, we shall see. Oh, hi, Chris. How are you? I've just cast on some knitting, knitting for a change. I couldn't decide what I wanted to crochet, so I've just been chatting with a lady who's just started up her crochet business. And she's like saying, oh, I'm selling through Etsy. And I'm thinking, oh, really? Because I was talking to another lady, Crafternoon Treats, and she was saying that the charges for selling on Etsy are between 20 and 40%. Kind of a lot, isn't it? It's more than what I'm making when I'm the one who's doing the work. So I need to get my webpage up and running, but with being a bit off colour, I haven't actually got around to taking any photographs. I've only just got around to putting things back in the shed. But I went in there meaning to tidy up and sort out because it's in a real state. But I just didn't feel well, so I came back out again. Tomorrow is another day, as they say. So maybe tomorrow I will feel more like doing it. Wouldn't hold my breath, though. It's, 20 to 40%? And then they're charging that because they're insisting that you put the postage as free, which we all know that we can't do. So you have to add the postage on to your goods. So then they're charging you the 20 to 40% on the total amount, which is a bit naff, isn't it? Because You know, we can't help postage. We've got to pay postage. So I don't see why they should take commission on the postage costs. It's really, you know, it is ridiculous. You're right, Nathan. So I'm looking around for other ways. I mean, people had suggested Vinted, but this lady that crochet, she got kicked off it because you're only supposed to be selling like second-hand things on Vinted. You know, things out your wardrobe you don't want. So I would get kicked off it in 2 minutes flat because my stuff would be new. I'd probably get away with selling a couple of things, you know, but then after that they'd probably clamp down. Yeah, but that's not the same as 20 to 40%, is it? 10% is about average. I mean, that's roughly what Etsy used to charge. And I could make a bit of a living out of it then. I mean, not fantastic because nobody ever makes money from a crochet business unless you're absolutely a fantastic quick crocheter and you're making the things that everybody wants to buy. But there's very, very few people actually make a living out of crochet. You have to be a designer, don't you, and make your money out of patterns and other things like that, which I'm not. I'm at the wrong end of my life scale. Yeah, it's not ethical, but they're all in it for themselves, aren't they? I mean, Etsy's now started advertising on the TV. And I believe if they advertise your things on the advert on the TV, you have to pay even more commission to pay for the advert. So I don't know how that works. You know, I'll do something eventually. I haven't really been making much of an effort because this last 2 or 3 weeks I haven't been tip-top condition, as they say. Yeah. Oh, the craft fairs are really awkward to try and suss out what people want to buy. Yeah. You know, you never know who's going to come through the doors. One craft fair, you could sell so and so, but the next craft fair along, it's not that anymore. We don't want that anymore. I mean, I dare say if I made amigurumis and stuff like that, I probably would sell those. But there's a lot of rules and regulations about toys. They've got to be British safety standards. The stuffing's got to be this and that. You know, if you're selling them to children, you've got to be so careful. So I don't want to walk that tightrope. Anyway, I'm no good at amigurumi anyway. My toys look like a Rocky House of Horrors. Yeah. I know. Yeah. I think in America you've got more people willing to actually buy things at the craft fair. I know most craft fairs I've ever done over the years, I've just about broke even. I'm knitting a cardigan, the same cardigan as I always knit, Nathan. I'm quite boring, aren't I? I'm knitting it in, it's cream. It looks white, but it's actually cream. But if you remember, I made a white cardigan, that one there. Yeah, everything's so touchy into what you can do. You've got to be careful that eyes don't come off. You've got to be careful that the colours don't run if the baby sucks. Oh, it's a minefield. Hi, Kaz. Hi, Ethan. How are you doing? I'm knitting. So it'll be a bit slower going. I just didn't know what to crochet. Didn't know what to crochet. So we shall see. We shall see what we shall see. My son's car's broke down. The mechanic's coming in the morning. his mechanic stroke best friend, is coming tomorrow to hopefully sort it out. He's been having to go to work on his motorbike, but luckily the weather hasn't been raining, so it's not too bad for him. You know, if he had to go to work on his motorbike and it was pouring down, he'd be soaked before he even got to work. So we shall see. I was talking to my niece today, and we were talking about, I said I was going to treat her to a spa weekend. We were going to go to a place called Ribby Hall. For me to pay for two of us, right, one night and two treatments, I think it would be £1,000. I said, forget it. I know I said I'd treat you, but I don't have that kind of money. Am I cold? Well, I'm not warm, let's just say. I did not have my cardigan on when I was outside. But you know me, I'm cold. When everybody else is hot, I am cold. I've had my thyroid tested about 4 times and they say there's nothing wrong. Yeah, it would have been £1,000. £1,000 for one night for two of us. And I think it was 2 treatments or something like that. And 1 tea. That's all you get there, 1 tea. So we've decided we will stay at somewhere like a Holiday Inn. And we will just book treatments at shops or whatever close by. So we'll see what we can do. It'll be the last week in July. Probably not a weekend, because that makes it more difficult for her. So, oh gosh, I keep getting these memos. Stop it. Stop it. Oh, stop it. It goes right across when I'm supposed to be reading. Right, maybe I can read that. Hiya, seeing stitches. I'm okay. I'm okay. No, I want to go out, Kaz. I've not been anywhere since I moved here. And before that, I hadn't been anywhere for years. I hadn't even had a weekend away. I just fancied just going away for a weekend or a few days in the middle of the week, just to make it seem like a bit of a holiday. You know, I just wanted a change of scenery, let's just say. I mean, I could book treatments here, like, in the different shops around here, but it's not the same, is it? No, I won't be coming to Norfolk. I'm relying on my niece to be the transport, yeah. Oh, yeah, how's your garden going? Have you managed to get the gardener? Have you managed to entrap him yet, Kaz? We've got a man coming to see about the front of our garden, digging it out. I don't know where we're going yet, Nathan. It's just not too far, I don't want to having to come all the way over here and then travel miles back the other way again. She's thinking about it. She's going to let me know. She's the organiser, not me. I'm just the one who's paying for it all. Hiya, Connie. Yeah, there's a man coming next week with a digger to dig out the front. My son actually trimmed the wildlife garden at the front. We can't afford to do the driveway as well, but oh, that's wonderful. You got your front garden done, yeah. We just want the front of the house done. We can't do the driveway. The driveway will just have to stay for the moment. The quotes we've had are absolutely ridiculous. There'll be no holding you back. You'll be growing vegetables in a bit, Kaz. What's my name? You're Marshally. I'm Jan, and the others have actually put the names up, I think. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, Kaz has been trying to get her garden done for at least 12 months. So she's actually got the front one done now. Hi, Jane. You've been off work. Oh, tell me about it. I'm not dwelling on it, Kaz. I just don't want to think about it. I'm trying to think I'm feeling well. Otherwise, I could make it sound like a pity party if I start telling everybody how I've been, but I don't want that now. Yeah, I shall just drink my coffee and carry on with my knitting. All I will say is my doctor was a fat lot of good. I said I was going to change doctors before, and I blooming well am. I thought maybe if I saw, well, I didn't see him, did I? Just talking to him over the phone. How can they diagnose you over the phone? Yeah. Well, you'll have to keep on top of it now. They've done it for you, Kaz. Just a little bit each weekend. Just a bit of weeding. Get the girls as well. Bit of weeding. That's all you need to keep on top of it, don't you? Otherwise, it goes back to nature. Who's Jean? Who's Jean? I don't know who Jean is. Yeah, it's very economical drying your stuff outside. We've been trying to do it, not put the dryer on at all. I think I told you that EDF have finally admitted that they're wrong with that bill they sent us. Hello, Mimi Catdoo. How are you doing? Now, I think pots and that are easier, especially if you're a bit limited with your bending and stretching. You're babysitting and knitting. I'm just knitting. I'm not babysitting. We ain't got no babies. Well, we've got the dog. They count as babies. Cass, you make me laugh. Cass. Chris, what do we think about that? Cass says she's the quiet one. Yeah, right, Cass. You're the quiet one, and I'm Marilyn Monroe. Bridges for sale. Oh, look what I do to me wool when I'm knitting. Look at that. I flick my wool when I'm knitting, and I twist it up. I have to keep stopping and untwisting it. Oh, nobody else does that. Nobody else has problems with the wool. Look, it just goes into a twist. I must roll it as I knit. Flick it backwards and forwards. I've been watching a lot of videos on, Instagram and YouTube, and people knit so slowly. Like in, over, through, off, in, over, through, off. God, it drives me nuts, that. How do they ever finish anything? Must take them forever. I'd have to hold my wool up now to stop it, make it unspin. Because it's spinning. I wonder if Miguel's hen's hatched its. I tend to only have one or two geese, and I can't cope if I have more than one or two projects. I used to have quite a few on the go at one stage, but then I found that if I left them and they got into a project bag, they got forgotten altogether. And it took me ages then to actually try to get back to it. And then most of the time I'd finish up unraveling it because I'd A, forgotten what I'd done, and B, gone off it or whatever. Now, I'm not one of these people who have like 16 projects or bags with stuff in them. It's the way I am. I just can't cope. I mean, other people just like flitting from one to the other. But I often wonder that they never ever finish anything, because I'm making a cardigan. It's just a plain cardigan, that's all. I'm just doing the ribbon. See what happens? I have to hold it up while it's, look, watch it spin. That's because I flick my yarn, and that's what it does. It goes into knots, and I have to unravel it. Oh, I've not been watching the tennis. It's not my thing. My mother, oh my goodness me. My mother used to live for Wimbledon. Hi, Sheila from Ireland. You're doing a bit of knitting too. Oh, good show. That's what we like. What's the weather like in Ireland today? We've not had the heat wave here. The wind from the sea keeps the sun away here. I mean, it was lovely in the back garden, don't get me wrong, but the washing thing was going round and round. Yeah, well, we had wool shops, so I didn't really have a lot of choice, did I, about it? But I did start knitting long, long before we ever had wool shops. But my mum used to knit. And I think I mentioned before, my grandma used to look after me when my mum did the housewife shift in the evening. And my dad used to not be home. There was like a crossover period where my mum had to go to work and my dad hadn't come home. So I had to go to my grandma's for about an hour. And I had two aunts that never got married, and I had another aunt that was widowed in the war. And they used to sit there crocheting, knitting, sewing, whatever. So it just sort of rubs off on you, because there was no TV back in the day, and they never put the radio on. So it was just like chit chat and do it, and you had to do something, otherwise you'd be bored rigid. Yeah. Sticky and humid. It's not been. We've got too much wind for it to ever get sticky. Yeah. Oh gosh, stop doing that to me. Keep flashing up on the screen. Yeah. You're the quiet one. You know the quiet one, Kaz. How can you say that? Your nose will grow, Pinocchio. Yeah. Yeah, hi, she, and welcome. Yeah. When I was a little girl, my ex next door neighbour was called Sheila, spelt the same way that yours is spelt. Yeah. Sheila Tierney, she was called. Still remember her. She must have been almost a teenager when I was a little girl. Yeah. But she used to humour me, because I used to like those paper dolls. You know, when you cut them out and you fit little clothes on them out of paper. And she used to humour me because she'd sit and play with me. And she must have been almost a teenager at the time. But she was kind to a little girl. Hi, Katie. I don't know whether anybody else, well, not the boys, obviously, used to play with the paper dolls. My dad used to hate it when my aunt used to buy them because he had to cut them out because I wasn't very good at cutting them out. And he used to say, your auntie's daft for buying you these. And I remember going to my auntie one day and saying, my dad says you're daft. I mean, luckily it was his sister, so she just laughed. Yeah. You were born in Liverpool and your midwife told your mum to spell it that way. It is more of an unusual way, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, I loved it. And I used to design my own paper clothes as well when I ran out of ideas. I used to draw them, design. My mother said I was going to be a fashion designer. I used to get the Bunty. I used to get a comic every now and again, yeah. I never had one every week. I don't think we had the money for it, but every now and again I was allowed to go and get one, a comic. I think I used to favour the Beano or the Dandy or something like that. Or it had dolls on the back, yeah. Thank you, Ethan, for reminding everybody. Yeah, I've just been watching, what's she called? Forgotten her name already. Oh, she's called Doodies on Instagram. And she's full of enthusiasm. Bless her heart. She's not been doing crochet that long. But she's made like a video on how to run your business. And I'm thinking, oh, bless, you know. I've been running mine for years and I still haven't got the hang of it. But the younger ones, you know, they're full of ideas and they're more savvy than I am. You know, they're more computer wise, they're more Instagram and TikTok and all that jazz. I wouldn't know how to TikTok if you paid me. Video shorts. It's a foreign language to me. I wish I was more savvy. Well, the lady who had the craft shop in Liverpool, the one who was supposed to be coming to the craft fair, she's put videos up of her craft shop. And to be honest with you, I don't think my stuff would fit in there. It's a tiny shop. I wouldn't know how to make one, Chris, so you don't need to worry about me. I know, but some people use TikTok for selling stuff, Kaz, but I wouldn't know where to start, to be quite truthful. I wish I had more of a business sense, if you know what I'm saying. I'm all right face-to-face selling. You know, I can talk the iron leg off a donkey when I'm face-to-face selling, but, you know, now I don't have a shop. Not the same, is it, you know? You've done... Well, when you think I was 50, about 55 before I ever had a computer. I know I could sell on TikTok, but I don't know how to TikTok, Nathan. I like my Facebook and I like Instagram. But Instagram, you've got to put a photograph up of anything. You can't just post anything. Whereas you can on Facebook, you can just post something, yeah. I'm just not of this world. I'm of a different generation. Yeah. Oh, I went to a new knit club on Monday. It was very nice. Ladies more my age group, if you know what I mean. So it was very nice. I was supposed to go to another one on Wednesday, but I wasn't very well, so I didn't finish up going. I thought if I get halfway there on my scooter and I feel sick again, no. So I didn't go. So there's always next week. I can try again, can't I? And I didn't go to my singing on Thursday either because I wasn't well. Well, I'll go back on Monday one, yeah. I'll go back to the Monday one, and I'm hoping to try a different one on Wednesday. But as I say, my stomach was off and I didn't fancy, getting part way there. So I thought, well, I'll leave it, yeah. Well, how do you manage in the shop, Kaz, if you're face-to-face very shy? I'm quite chatty, really, I suppose. I've been in business. I've been in face-to-face contact with people since I was being about 11, 12. That's when my mum bought the shop. So I've always had to be, front-facing. Then I was in the shop on my own, and then after that I worked for the job centre. So I had to be front-facing, people-facing them. So it just comes naturally, I suppose, that I've got to sort of start up a conversation or talk. One of my ex-boyfriends used to say he couldn't leave me anywhere for 2 minutes because when he came back, I was always chatting to some strange bloke. Yeah. But I'm the one who always gets the nutter on the bus. Sorry if you don't like the word nutter, but I get the nutter on the bus. And everybody else is in fits laughing. Or I got the one on the tram that insisted on telling me that everything he was wearing was made in England because he didn't believe in buying from abroad. And he proceeded to show me the labels in his T-shirts, and he even took his shoes off. I mean, you can imagine the rest of the tram was in fits of laughter, but I was like sat next to this bloke. And then a bloke came and sitting next to me one week on the bus, and he had a black plastic bin liner knotted in 4 corners on his head. And he'd just telling me all about his shopping, where he'd been, and taking everything out of his bag to show me what he'd bought. I don't know. My son says you must look at them, you must engage with them, otherwise they wouldn't start telling you things. I said, I've tried looking out the window, but they still start talking to me. I can never go anywhere without people start talking to me. My friend says you've got that kind of a face that looks sympathetic, as if you would listen to them. I'm like Bridget Jones. Well, I do wear the big knickers, yeah. I'll hold my hand up to them. Yeah, the other week I stopped on the seafront on my scooter, and some bloke stopped next to me telling me he'd had a stroke and all that, and was I married, and I'm saying, I've got to go now, I'm in a rush. I wasn't in a rush, I was just sat there watching the waves. I needed to get away from it. Oh, I was nursing a little white chihuahua called Harry. She let me hold him. Oh, he was so tiny, tiny little thing he was. Because I was a bit upset that day because it was just 12 months since Gigi passed away. Get me caught up, we should have seen him. Yeah, it was just 12 months since Gigi passed away, so I was a bit upset about that. So when I had a little cuddle off Harry, yeah. I don't think I've ever been anxious in my life, really. I've had a touch of depression, but that was when everything was going wrong in my marriage, and also when I was being bullied at work. I've had a touch of depression, but I can't ever say I've been anxious. I've only ever had one panic attack, and it was when I was getting on a plane a long time. I don't know why I had this panic attack. I thought I was going to faint. I mean, I was all right when they got me on the plane. After 2 gyms, they actually got me on the plane. I don't like flying. Petrifies the living daylights out of me. So I don't know why I had a panic attack. That's the only one I've ever had in my life. Luckily, my friend was with me, and she just got me 2 stiff gyms. You'll be fine, you'll be fine. So I'm like that on the plane. I was like half cut when I got on it, yeah. I love going where I'm going when I get there. I just don't like the going. I don't like the takeoff and the landing because my ears pop. And then they take about 2 days to go right again. So I have the first 2 days of my holidays going, wah, eh. And then all of a sudden my ears will pop and then I'll be fine. Yeah, I probably would be the only person who could speak Swahili, yeah. I've tried that as kompumpa, but then I find somebody who also speaks French, so it doesn't work. Like me, like what's he called? Miguel in the Faulty Towers. Ke? Manuel, not Miguel. Manuel out of Faulty Towers, yeah. I wouldn't want to go at the moment, Ella, because, you've got all this checking in nonsense at the airport. Like you have to turn up about 5 hours early or something daft. My niece is going away. She's going to Italy in about a month, I think. I've never been to Italy. I've always wanted a Walkman, Chris. I've never had one. People say, oh, Walkmans are out of date now. You use your phone. I wouldn't know how to put tunes on my phone. I haven't got a clue. You just had a power cord. What you been plugging in, Nathan? Oh, it would be at the moment, Jane. Having to wait 3 and 5 hours in a queue just to check in. Oh no, I couldn't be doing with that. I mean, I haven't got a passport, but it doesn't encourage me to want to fly at the moment. Maybe by next year it might have sorted itself out. But to be honest with you, by the time I've paid single supplements, found a place that's like ground floor, found a place that's level, that I don't have to walk up any hills, you think, oh, why bother? I'll just stay at home. I don't like the plane. I don't like what I call canned recycled air. I don't like shopping malls for that reason. When you go inside a shopping mall and it's all music and lights and, well, they have to have air conditioning, don't they? Whatever you call it, recycled air. That's what makes me get anxious, I think. And I feel I can't breathe with recycled air. I feel like pulling the mask down, and having to breathe some oxygen. My knitting's still spinning if you're wondering what I'm doing. There's so many places in the UK I've never seen. I would love to be able to, take a train ride somewhere or other, but with me, it's always the mobility issue. I'd have to take a suitcase and I'd have to take a suitcase I pull along, and then I'd be pulling along my scooter behind me. Oh, I don't know how I'd manage if I was on my own. Hello, Lulu's treasure trove. How are you doing? Yeah, it kind of puts me off. I mean, I keep saying I might go on a coach trip, but I'm a bit bothered about leg room. I have to have my legs to stretch out. And there isn't much leg room on these coaches these days. They cram everybody in like a sardine. Yeah, my ball's spinning round, spinning round. I like knitting sometimes, even though it does make my shoulders hurt, yeah. I know some people cake the yarn. I'm lazy, Chris. I've got a winder as well somewhere, but I don't know where it is. It's in the shed somewhere hiding. You're in bed with your leg on a pillow. Oh dear, is it not any better then? It's out of the shed. It's ice yarn. Well, hello, I've got a visitor. Hello, Rosie. Hello, Rosie. What do you want, darling? She comes in, opens the door, then she goes out again. Now I've got to go and close the door because they've got the TV on upstairs and it's rather loud. Oh, it's quite dark as well. Oh, I might as well put the light on while I'm here. Draw the curtains. The bungalow across the road's gone up for sale. 425,000 if you're interested, people. It is nice inside, mind you. Mm. It wouldn't do for us, as if we had the money. It wouldn't do for us, as it's like us being two separate families, because it's one of those all in one downstairs. Uh-huh. Oh, another antibiotic. I'm beginning to think I need an antibiotic. Never mind about. As I say, I've got these blood tests tomorrow, so we'll see what they do. Yeah, the house across the road is beautiful for a family, but it's one of those all in one downstairs. Where the kitchen and the dining room and the lounge are all in one massive big space. It's great if you've got a family because it's a big 4-bed bungalow. It wouldn't do for us because we'd only have the one lounge then. But I'm sure a family will buy it. As I say, it is beautiful. Very well appointed, as they say. Whoever moved in wouldn't have to do anything. Yeah. Yeah, you keep your feet up, Lou, and you do your knitting. Oh. Tra-la-la. I've got all appointments all next week. I've got a blood test tomorrow. I've got the hospital on the 14th, I think, for my CPAP machine. And then I've got my diabetic eye screening on the 21st, so it's busy month this month. Hi Enid, how you doing? They don't pick up after themselves. My son has actually turned out to be much tidier than he ever was when he lived with me. Must be the influence of his wife. Yeah, they say it's healing when it starts itching, don't they? They must be having the nibbles, they're getting the plates out. Right, Connie, we'll see you in a bit then. Chance would be a fine thing. We're supposed to have a heat wave here. But because we're so close to the sea, we don't get it here. Because the sea breezes take away the heat. The trees were bashing about today. My friend just lost her cat today, and she's away on holiday. Somebody else was looking after it, but it was an old cat. I bet the people who are looking after it feel terrible. You always do when you're looking after somebody else's animal and it passes away, don't you? Biff, it was called. A ginger tomcat called Biff. They've had it years, about 14, I think, the cat. Yeah, can save on your dinner. You need to put your potatoes outside, let them cook in the sun. Save on electric. I dried my washing today. I didn't have a lot to do. I just decided to wash the few bits I had because it was a nice day, yeah. Oh, somebody was barbecuing chicken outside before. It was, oh, barbecue chicken smells absolutely gorgeous on somebody else's barbecue. Huh? Must be Back to the Future fans. Well, the cat's about 14, so maybe that's where it comes from. Yeah, it was called Biff. Funny name for a cat, isn't it, Biff? Mine was that little chihuahua I was nursing. He was white. He was tiny little thing. Harry. You don't think of a chihuahua called Harry, do you, really? My friend's got a dog called Colin. Quite a few people around here have their dogs have got like human nature, human names, yeah. We don't need any aircon here. On the odd few days, the Chihuahua's called Polly and a Pomeranian called Ruby. Oh, yeah, your dog's called Christine, isn't it? Ours are Trixie and Rosie. I'd love a Chihuahua, but we won't have one now. My son doesn't like them. So that's why we've got a stubborn French bulldog. She's a little... I don't know. I shouldn't think so. It's probably just like the name Harry. Don't think anybody wants to call it after him, do they? Harry's not called Harry anyway. He's called Prince Henry, really. But just everybody calls him Harry. His real name's Henry. You could say that, Kaz. I'm not fond of her. I will aim bets how long it will last. Our Trixie was in the doghouse. She pooped all over the blooming hall yesterday. No, I can't stand her either, Kaz. Don't know what he saw in her. He's stuck with her now, though, isn't he? Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard of a dog called Andrew. Maybe we should start a trend. My brother was called Colin, so I found it sort of amusing when my friend's dog was called Colin. Yeah. There's loads of people in America called Randy, isn't there? I mean, over here, Randy means, a bit frisky, a bit, what do you call it, And yet there's loads of people actually called Randy over in America, isn't there? It's a name. I don't think anybody'd call her. Short for Randolph. Randolph over here tends to be a West Indian name. A lot of West Indians are called Randolph and Clarence and things like that. We seem to have a passion for the very old-fashioned names. Whereas I know in America, if you're in the South, everybody's got two names, haven't they? Especially the women. They call them by two names, don't they? Like Mary Ann or Mary Jane or something. My sister-in-law's sister, they call her Clary. I don't know what her real name is. She's not Clara. Oh. Yeah, Billy Bob and things like that. They're all called that, aren't they? No, she isn't Clarissa either. Just trying to think what she's called. My generation, it was always the tradition to call you after your grandmothers. So thankfully, one grandmother was Janet and the other one was Elizabeth. So I didn't get any horrible names. She's not called Clara. Why did he call her Clary? Claire, she's called. That's what she's called, Claire. And yet they call her Clary. I mean, Claire's a nice name. Why do they call her Clary? Jessica and Isabel. Isabel's coming back, isn't it? Yeah, at least my grandparents had quite reasonable names. When I was engaged, my ex-husband, when I was engaged to him, he used to call me Flo. And he said, don't call me Flo, I hate that name. And I happened to say it in front of his mother. And she said, my name's Florence. I thought, oh, that's a good start, isn't it? I mean, she never liked me anyway, but yeah, Lillian's kind of an old name. My mum didn't have a middle name. There was that many of them. There were 16. So they only ever had one name each. And they got shortened. I mean, like, I had a Jack. He wasn't. I mean, people used to call my dad Jack. And if anybody came to the door and said to my grandma, is your Jack in? She used to say, there's nobody lives here by that name. Because he was called John, you see. But people used to call him Jack for some reason or another. But yeah, I have an Uncle Jack, and he was christened Jack, yeah. Yeah, my mother-in-law never liked me. She liked his ex-fiancée, who dumped him. I think his ex-fiancée had more sense than I did. I think I've told you before, when I was expecting, my ex wanted to call, if it was a girl, Angela, which just happened to be the name of his ex-fiancée. And then he wondered why I wouldn't entertain it. No, my names for my little girl were Joanna, but Anna, with a hyphen in between. Or Helen. I liked Helen. Oh, I used to drive my ex-husband up the pole. Clickety-click, clickety-click, clickety-click. He used to say I rocked the sofa when I was clicking. Hello, John. How are you doing? We've got another lady in here from Ireland. She's called Sheila. I don't know which part of Ireland she's from. If you're still here, Sheila, John's from Ireland. Mabel and Gladys. I don't think they've come back yet. Hello, Granny D. Am I feeling a bit better this week? Not really. I wish I could say I was, but I'm not. But thanks for asking, Amanda. It's Granny D. My great-granddaughter, one of them's called Esme. We've got Esme and Orla. And Theodore. Where is Sheila? I don't know. She's in Ireland. She was here a minute ago. Sheila, are you still here? Or have you left us? It's quite a while since she said anything, so she might have left. I'm knitting today for people who've just arrived, not crocheting today. I'd love to live in a big house and hoard things again. I had to get rid of everything when I moved here, and gosh, do I wish I still had stuff. I think to myself, oh, I've got one of them. I think, no, I haven't. Hashtag peace. What do you want to know? It's not that kind of a channel. We knit and crochet on here. Raining cats and dogs, or send some over to the people who've got it too hot. I think Enid did like some rain, yeah. Where am I from? I'm from England, UK. I don't know where Sheila is. She was here before, but she's disappeared. I was going to introduce you to John. Hashtag peace. This is a knitting and crocheting channel. It's not a dating site. Yeah, I think it definitely is a whistle. It'll be age, sex, location in a bit, won't it? Like they used to do, ASL. If you remember far enough for these chat rooms. No, you'll not find a date in here, love. Not that kind of channel. We're all quite happily single or married or other. It's probably a whistle, you're right there. Well, if you don't knit or crochet or do some kind of crafting, you know, you're really on the wrong channel here, hashtag peace. Because that's all we talk about on here. We talk about what we're knitting, what we're crocheting, and what we're doing. So if you don't do any of them things, it'll be all very boring for you. By gum. Get me caught, you're joking, aren't you? I would give it all up. Yeah, it depends which way the fingers are, Nathan. Which way the fingers are pointing. Oh, we always get one, Lulu. We always get a weirdo. You know, they can see I deliberately put get your crafting, you know, it's crafting, get your project and join us. You know what I mean? Surely that gives a clue, doesn't it, as what kind of channel it is. I know. All alone to be alone. All alone am I. Shall we all sing? Sing it? Do you want me to put everybody off? I do go singing though twice a week. Can't sing for toffee, but I enjoy myself. Luckily, it's not a choir, so I don't have to prove myself. Oh dear. So I'm with a load of ladies about my age, and we sing like 60 songs and sing away there, you know. You've been out chasing Lady Jane. Well, you know, if you will go chasing the women. Somebody on it. Granny D's got rain if you want any. Yeah, my dad used to say that. Can you sing solo? Solo, we can't hear you. Yeah, I know. Well, ask Granny D to send you some. What type of singing do I do? It's just like 60s sing-along he sings. You know, we do like selection from Jersey Girl and stuff like that. Your mother's got epilepsy. Oh dear, she not had it before. A bit later in life to get epilepsy. Mind you, they can treat it well now, can't they, John? She get some medication. No, CBD is not legal here. We can get CBD, but it's not. It's not the real McCoy, if you know what I mean. It's fake. It's like, what did he call it? Not soy. What did he call it? Hemp. It's hemp. It's not proper CBD. CBD is kind of like marijuana, but you can't get marijuana legally in the UK. Peace out. There was somebody called Peace something or other that was mithering us, but we thought it was a whistle. So that's why he's saying peace out, not peace in. He was being a bit of a nuisance. Yeah, hemp's no good. It doesn't have any properties, hemp. That's all you get when you ask for CBD oil over here. You don't get the real McCoy. I think he's been busy keeping the laundrette going. I don't think we kicked him out. I think he actually left. I think he realised he was on the wrong channel. He was asking me, did I live alone, Miguel? Which is a bit creepy, isn't it, you know? You don't come on a knitting channel asking, do I live alone? He must be busy then, unless he's changed his email address or something. You checked him out, did you, Nathan? I'm knitting, Miguel. Knitting away here. Don't know how long I'll knit until my shoulders start to hurt, no doubt. and then I will have to give it up. I won't get the ribbing done because it's got a very long rib. Got a rib about that long. Behave, Lulu. Don't encourage Kaz. Oh, did you? Oh, I saw something on the internet where this woman wanted a husband, and so her mum made her a rag doll husband, and now she's saying that she's got a rag doll baby. But she said, I'm fed up with my husband, really, because he's lazy. He just sits around all day. And I'm like, cuckoo, cuckoo, mad. How can you marry a rag doll? He wasn't even a nice looking rag doll. Pretty blooming ugly. I thought, am I reading this right? There's some nutty people out there. No, it's me that does that, Chris. I managed to prop my patio window open anyway. The dogs kept coming in, and I said I wanted a dog gate, baby gate. Anyway, my son's put the clothes dryer and wedged it so it's about that high, so the dogs can't get in. I couldn't get any air in my room, yeah. Yeah, I saw a lady who knitted herself some friends, and they were all sitting on the sofa with her. I thought, I haven't got that many friends, but I'm not that desperate to start knitting them. Yeah. I certainly won't want to knit a husband. What good's that? Don't want a real one, so I certainly don't want a knitted one. No, he wouldn't answer back, would he? And he wouldn't need feeding. But he might take up half the bed, so no, I'll not bother knitting one. I mean, there's all kinds of weird fellas marrying blow-up dolls, isn't there? Somebody married a car, didn't they? How? Oh, there's some weird people out there in the world. Why would anybody want to marry a blow-up plastic mannequin? All right, bye. Yarn, I'm she. Nice to meet you. I hope to see you again soon. A possessed doll is bad enough with Chucky. That Chucky thing, I could never watch that. That was weird, wasn't it? Well, she's just feeling, I don't know. She's feeling the wrong side. She decides she's going to have a... It's Daniel! Oh, I hope you get to your yarn thing, Daniel. Your yarn. Which one are you going to? Wish I could go to a yarn thing. I can't travel anymore. I'd love to go to these yarn days and things like that. I used to really enjoy going to them, yeah. You're going to Perth? Oh, I definitely couldn't get to Perth. I never could afford to buy much at these, yarn places, but I used to see women there, coach trips, and they used to have great big plastic bags full of stuff. All right, see you later, Miguel. Yeah, they used to come on coaches from all over. They used to be going staggering home with massive big bags of stuff. They must have saved up all year to go, yeah. I'm not that old, John. Oh my God, Lou. A copperhead. I'd only have to see a harmless snake and I'd be off. I think we only have adders in the UK, if I'm not mistaken, but they still bite. No, I wouldn't like to live anywhere where there were snakes. Or spiders, for that matter. I have a thing about spiders. I don't like spiders. I know they keep saying they're harmless and whatever, but I still don't like spiders. I won't kill one. I have to put a glass over it, and a piece of paper underneath and scoot it outside. I used to always throw it over next door. I used to think if I put it in my garden, it might come back again, yeah. And bring its mate, bring its husband or its wife with it when it came back. So I always just throw it in next door's garden because it was high fence. I know it could still come back, but still, I thought, let it go and roam in her house. Yeah, I always do that with any creatures. I do that with bees. I'll squash a wasp, but I won't hurt a bee. If a bee comes in, I always rescue it, yeah. Sheila's just gone. She was there before. I don't know what part of Ireland she come. Anybody know where Sheila comes from in Ireland? Did she sell it? Did she tell us? I can't remember. Can anybody remember where Sheila came from? Yeah, she's just gone. What was she called? Something she. Yarn she. It's the first time I've seen her on here, John, so I don't know much about her, except that she said she was from Ireland. People seem to know her, so, maybe you know where she came from. As I say, it's the first time I've seen her on here, but I mean, obviously other people know her, so she must have been on other people's channels, yeah. She's gone off to watch a film with her husband. Gosh, I'm doing this ribbon. I can remember knitting myself a sweater, and it was all in knit two, purl two rib. I must have been mad. Polo neck sweater I made myself. I think it was black as well. All in knit 2 purl 2 rib. I've got my crisps as well. Got my crisps and I've got my drink. I've got peppermint. Peppermint. It looks like water, but it's actually peppermint. I'm drinking out of a mug that says Grandad. I think it's my son's. I didn't notice it said Grandad on. I'm knitting that cardigan again, as I've knitted many times. No, the sweater's for me. I know it looks like it's white, but it's actually cream. Yeah. Yeah, I just reached it out the cupboard. I just thought it was like a pint glass. I didn't realise it had Grandad on it. But Grandad. It's nice peppermint cordial. The guy at the walk-in centre said I should have peppermint oil. When I looked at all the peppermint oils online, they were for rubbing on and burning like aromatherapy. They weren't for, ingesting. So I thought, well, I'll get peppermint cordial. So I did. Yeah, the peppermint's for my tummy. I've tried peppermint tea, but oh God, no, I don't like tea in any shape or form, peppermint or otherwise. It still tastes peppermint cordial. Yeah, I can drink that. Yeah, this is kind of, it's not really cream. I'd call it ivory. I don't think it's got a name. I don't think it's got anything written on it. Let me have a look. Oh yeah, cream. But I wouldn't exactly call it cream. It is slightly cream. It's very off-white. I'm going to put different buttons on it so that I can tell it from the white one when I'm getting it out in the cupboard. But this dress I've got on today has actually got little, they're not white, they're more like a cream, little, whatever they call it. It's not a flower, is it? Yeah. I don't know, I only got it today, Jane. I'll let you know next week. I'm only on about the third glass. But it can't do any harm, can it? Because I can't drink coffee. Because that sets me off. So I shall let you know tomorrow. I don't like these rubbish crisps. Flipping oldie crisps. Yeah, ginger. Yeah. I haven't got any ginger. Oh, cabbage sets me off. Cabbage, cauliflower, sprouts, anything like that. Sets my stomach off. They've got a Holland and Barrett in Cleveland. I'll go in there and see if they have any ginger. Holland and Barrett is like a health food store. I'll see if they have ginger. My mother used to eat crystallized ginger. She absolutely loved it. She used to eat it like sweets. Oh, bye, Lulu. I couldn't eat it. I don't mind ginger in things, but oh, thank you, Lulu. You keep your foot elevated. Oh, it's welcome, Lou. We're a great bunch on here. We're all very friendly, as you've probably gathered. Well, most of us. Unless we get the odd troll. But we're mostly very friendly. We don't have drama on here. The only drama on here is when we're talking about TV programmes. That's the only drama we get on here. There's been nothing good on the TV lately, but there hasn't in the UK. It's been Wimbledon. I'm not a fan of tennis. My mother, oh, God, my mother wouldn't cook anything. She used to live off sandwiches. When it was Wimbledon, you didn't get any sense out of her. Oh, thank you, Connie. Are you leaving us as well? You didn't walk anywhere near the TV when my mother was watching tennis. She was like, it's Wimbledon. She said, it's Wimbledon. I used to have to take her things like boiled ham and, bread, and so she could make herself a sandwich in between the sets. I'm not passionate about any. My friend was saying to me, oh, it's golf. I'm glued to it. And I'm thinking, how can you be glued to golf? What do they say about golf? It spoils a good walk, don't they? My ex-husband was football. Oh, it didn't matter which team were playing. It didn't matter what country they were from. He would watch football. When football wasn't around, he would watch cricket. Thank goodness he never wanted to watch boxing. That's one sport I can't abide. He would watch horse racing, although he wasn't a gambler. He didn't put bets on or anything like that. But he would still watch horse racing. But show jumping was his thing. They like that. So I got another telly, went in the other room, and he said, what's wrong with you? Don't you want to sit with me? I said, no, I don't. It's like the Olympic Games. I don't watch that either. My ex would watch any kind of sport, except boxing. Thankfully, he didn't like boxing. I mean, wrestling was a joke, innit? Because they're all rigged, aren't they? They all know who's going to win. I used to dread the Olympics coming on. What I don't like about when it's like Wimbledon and that is you can't get away from it. It's on every blooming channel. You know, there was a knitting or a crocheting channel on, and it was on 3 channels. My goodness, wouldn't everybody moan? It's not even on 1 channel. All it is on creating craft or something. And then all they're doing is they want to sell you things, yeah. There's not much on television because I don't like these reality shows. I don't care. It was dating who. All these wannabes, you know. Never heard of them. They go on there thinking they're going to get famous, don't they? I've got no time for them. Love Island, Naked Attraction, Big Brother, all that stuff. Oh. If I see one more quiz game, it'll be one game too many. I know. What did we do without YouTube? I don't know. But there's never any crafting type channels, is there? You might get that odd one with that woman who can't do anything. How they actually gets a channel, a series, I don't know. Kirsty Allsop. She starts off making something and she gives it to somebody else to finish. It's like she was learning to knit one time. She was going to knit this little house. She did about 2 rows, I think, and then she gave it to somebody else to finish. I think there was more variety of shows when we had less channels. I mean, a lot of it now is repeats. You've only got to look. It's Vera. You've seen them all before. Dalil and Pasco, you've seen them all before. MASH is about 25-year-old, isn't it? I look at something and it says new. What it really means, it's new to drama channel. It's been on ITV or BBC before. Now it's all, if you want to watch something, you've got to have BritBox or you've got to have what now? Why do I pay a licence fee if you've got to go and pay for BritBox? And I won't buy Sky. I used to have Sky at the other house, but there's about 2 or 3 programmes I miss on Sky. But they're mostly like, you know, the Geography Channel and things like that I miss. But now so many of them that are on Freeview are coming off Freeview. You're supposed to be paying for them now. And I'm like, oh my God. They want you to pay for every damn thing now, don't they? It's all about the money. money for this, money for that, money for the other. People have got that kind of money. I was paying £46 a month for Sky. I thought, yeah, the crafting channel, all they've got is that create and craft, and they're just flogging things, aren't they? It's usually paper crafting on that thing. I mean, it doesn't have to be knitting and crocheting. I'm talking about crafting, sewing, patchwork, stuff like that. And I don't mean where they're selling you the kits. It would be nice to have, like a channel where it could be pottery, it could not great throwdown, but that's a competition. It's not about the pottery, is it? I mean, one program I did watch all the way through was Sandy Tosvik, when they were making little miniature things for Dolly's house. I watched that. But apart from that, there's not been anything much on like that. I would like to watch, like sculpture where they're making things out of clay, or where they're actually making pottery, not in a competition. I mean, that woodworking was not too bad, but it was still a competition. I just want to see crafting as for crafting's sake, all kinds of crafting. I'm not saying just knit crochet, all kinds of crafting. You can't tell me there wouldn't be a market for it. Yeah, jewellery making. I mean, card making, I'm sorry, but there's so many programs about card making. And that scrapbooking, what's that all about? Yeah, any kind of crafting I'm talking about, Chris. They're talking about we should all be more make do of men. We should all be making our own stuff. I mean, even the cookery programs now are not cookery programs, either. They're competitions. There isn't a book, one that says, let's, show how to make basic soup and meals on a budget. That would be very useful for a lot of people. A lot of people really do not know how to cook. I know it sounds stupid, but I'm not saying like wartime cookery, but I'm talking about they don't know how to cook on a budget. All the cookery programs now are too airy-fairy, and they've got like millions of ingredients in them that people don't have in their cupboards. You want one that's just shows you how to make scones and a cake and how to make a pie, stuff like that. Yeah, that's right, Nathan. Not a selling channel. I mean, I turned over because I thought, oh, it's crocheting. And it was on Create and Craft, and it was crocheting. And they were making like a jacket, but instead of being squares, it was hexagons, crocheted hexagons. But the kit was £38. And it wasn't wool. It was acrylic. And I'm thinking, you are joking. £38 for the kit. Yeah, but you get the pattern. And it was a cheap hook. It wasn't a nice ergonomic hook or anything like that. You're buried in craft supplies. What kind of things do you do, Chris? Or what kind of things did you do? Yeah, somebody come and rescue Chris from underneath his piles of... but no, that's what I mean. I mean, one of the girls that I go to in the knit club, I mean, she has an embroidery machine and she makes the most fantastic, beautiful embroidered things. Doesn't sell them, just makes them. And she buys these kits, for what do you call them, fat quarters, what you do patchwork with and stuff like that. The price she pays for some of them. I'm like, good grief, it must cost you a fortune to make a quilt. I thought that the whole idea of like quilting was made in the old days. You made quilting out of old bits of material, didn't you? That you had left over. You cut up your dress that had a hole in, didn't you? And made pieces for a patchwork quilt. Baby things your child had grown out of. You cut pieces and put them in a quilt. You don't buy all these fancy dancy designer fat quarters or whatever they call them. And that 5D stuff, I mean, who the heck wants them hanging on the wall? Hundreds of the things hanging on your wall. One, maybe. Maybe you could even do two. But after that, you don't want them all over the house. And I'm sure people don't want them for a present. And the kits they have on Create and Craft, oh my goodness me, the price of them. My goodness, Chris. You have enough there to keep you busy all winter. I've never even wanted to try diamond painting. I can't be doing them little drills or whatever they call them. I used to love the tapestry. When you made something really nice, like a scene or something, that was like a picture when you'd done it. But I don't like all these silly little cross-stitching things like Paddington Bear and stuff. Gosh, you should be busy all winter, Chris, if you start doing them for as a hobby. Journal making is something I've never even wanted to contemplate. When they show them to me with all little stickers and things on them and bits of lace and that, and I'm like, what's the point? What are they? Yeah, my dollies are actually a bit big for my doll's house, Chris. But you can't get any small ones unless you pay a fortune. I am Nancy. Hello there. I tried that for a craft fair once, Nancy. I crocheted little washcloths. We got some handmade soap and we tied them up with a ribbon and a bow. Didn't sell. I was being polite, Nathan. You certainly got enough to keep you occupied, Chris. Yeah, well, I wasn't going to ask what book knocking was. I didn't want to appear dumb. You do like that program, Chris, we had in the UK, where they had to make rooms for a doll's house. And they made them in the style of Regency and that. They had to make all the furniture, the carpets and everything. I've never really tried much in the way of craft. I used to sew when I was younger. I found furls too heavy, Enid. I found the handles too heavy. Enid has been brazen. What have you been doing? Have you ordered a full set or something? You remortgaged your house, have you? Mini brands, what are them? I still haven't done my doll's house yet, Chris. Still haven't painted the damn thing. Ephraim sent me the one furls I've got. About $20 odd. That was the cheaper end of the furls market. I'm mad he spent that much on it. And I don't mind, but I can't use it. Yellow Odyssey furls. What's one of those when it's at home, Nathan? Hello. Hello, Rosie again. What do you want, Chicky Licking? What do you want, sweetie pie? What do you want? What do you want, baby? Do you need a wee wee? Do you need a wee wee? Usually when she comes to me, she needs a wee. Just hang on a minute while I let her out. Oh, a wee wee. Come on, then. Come on, sweetie pie. I know, you're beautiful. Yes, you are. You're so beautiful. Come on, then, let's go, wee wees. Let's go, wee. Come on. Come on, chicken licking. Let's go, wee wees. Hey, come on. Come on. We'll go out sometime. Mission accomplished. She wouldn't come back in though, that's the trouble. A road trip to Chernobyl. Yeah, I've got a glow-in-the-dark hook. Zulika sent it to me because she didn't like it, but then neither did I. Wasn't the fact I didn't like it lighting up, it was the fact that it wasn't the right kind of hook end for me. Some people like the blob ones, but I like what they call the inline. You know, like the Susan Bates at inline. The other ones are what are called blob ends. I don't know, I can't remember the name of them. But I can't crochet with. I mean, one of the girls at Knit Club, she'd gone wrong with a crochet. She said, "Will you put it right for me?" And I got hold of it and I couldn't crochet with a hook. She said, "Why can't you crochet with it?" I said, "Because it's got a blob on the end of it." I can't crochet with those other ones as well. I'm knitting a cardigan now, just on the rib bit, the bottom. There's loads of ones that people like. I mean, Kelly used to like one kind that I didn't like. The ones that are like a lattice handle. Ooh, stay there. Stay. I'll have to look at my hooks to tell you what they are. I keep all my hooks in a big case. It won't shut because it's too fat. I think my big hooks are in here. There's my furls hook. To me, the handle is really heavy. It's big, fat and heavy. But that's what I call a blob. I don't like blobs. I mean, look at that. That is a blob in it. Who could crochet with that? That's a knit pro. I had to think about getting every sort. That's, can't remember what that is. I think that's a knit pro, I'm not sure. But they've got blobs, they don't go in far enough, they're not in line. That's what I mean by an inline hook. See how far that goes in? They're the only kind I can crochet with. Can't crochet with blobs. This one I got sent. Doris Chan, name drop, sent it to me for my 70th birthday. It's a tulip hook. I've never had a chance to use it yet because it's a 10mm hook. No, it's a 6mm hook. That's sort of half inline and half blob, but these are the ones that she uses herself. It's 6mm. It's a tulip. Yeah, sent to me by Doris Chan. My 70th birthday. Ooh. Name drop, name drop, name drop. I have hooks all over the place. I have hooks in here. I have hooks all over the shed. All kinds of hooks. What have I got in here? Oh, let me take them out and see. What have I got in here? I can't understand why I keep losing my 4mm hooks because I've got gazillions of the things. Yeah, I do sometimes use the ordinary Susan Bates, the cheapo ones. The ones without the handles. I haven't tried this one yet. It's a Susan Bates one, but it's got a soft handle. I haven't tried that one yet. Look at that weapon. And that thing, 12mm or something, that one. Oh, these are the ones that Kelly likes, and I don't because they're plastic. They're prim. The furls, I think it's a 6mm, something like that, Nathan. I don't like the prims. Can't crochet with them. Yeah, I've got another one of the Knit Pro. I don't like them. Don't know why I buy them. The Knit Pro are too short. That bit there is too short for me. It's not a long enough shaft, if you know what I mean. I like the ones with the long shaft. The ones with the short shaft, I can't crochet with them. Oh, Kelly uses all sorts. I gave her most of my prim. I don't know why I didn't give her that one, but I don't like the plastic, no. I'll look in what size my furls is. Tell you in a minute, Nathan. It's a 5mm, my furls. But as I say, it's got a really, it's heavy. Heavy. I think it would give me a wrist ache if I used that furls. I don't like plastic. Don't like the plastic hooks. Why do you want the furls in yellow, Nathan? Why have you got a yen for a 4mm one? I don't like the ones, have you seen them when they're carved out of wood? And they look like you got a chunk of a branch stuck in your hand. You know, people who do these handmade ones. And there was some one time they were done in driftwood or something. What a price they were. 70 or 80 pounds for a set. And I'm like, I don't think I like them. My argument is, you know, I will pay for Susan Bates hooks. They're not cheap, but I know I like them. But I wouldn't want to pay, you know, for a hook and then not be able to work with it. I mean, you've paid like all that money for a set and then you can't use them. Yeah, there's another lady and her dad makes them out of like tree branches and they're really chunky. It's like those ergonomic ball things that you screw your crochet hook into. They look awfully uncomfortable to me. What are the brown handle and the gold metal? I put them all away again, Nathan. You would ask me that. They're the ones with the short tops, aren't they? Oh, the ones I use, you mean the ones like that? They're Susan Bates. I like the long. What are the brown handle and gold metal? I don't know. I only know what I use. I mean, some people. I like these. You know, the Susan Bates ones. That's the ones I have. Yeah, I've got one tulip. But mine's got a pink. Mine's pink, my tulip one. It's the one that Doris Chan sent me. That's a tulip. It's the ones that she uses, but it's got a big blob of head on it that I can't. Oh, people are always paying a fortune for hooks, aren't they? I mean, I bought some of those. They were like stripy. They were like wood and they were stripy. I couldn't use them. I don't know what they were called now. They're quite expensive as well. They're like brown wood. They don't have a handle. They're just brown wood and they're like different colours in the handle. Can't think what they were called now. But luckily my friend, she loved them, so I gave them her. Hi, BB. What hot weather, dear? You may have hot weather down south, but we ain't got hot weather up here. It was warm today, but no way would I call it hot. I can't think what they were called, those hooks. They do knitting needles as well. I think they're made out of some kind of wood and they're like got stripes going through them. Yeah, a lot of that's why I like the Susan Bates, because even their massive ones are still metal. They cost a bit. Symphony, that's the ones. They're quite expensive as well. I bought 2 or 3 sizes, but I couldn't use them. So I gave them all to my friend who loved them. So we've all got our favourite hooks. Everybody says to me, oh, you know, what's the best hook to buy? And I say, you just have to try them all. That's all I can say is just, if you can borrow somebody's while you just try it out, you know, before you go and splash out and buy expensive load of crochet hooks. Yeah, they were the ones I bought, the double-ended ones, Nathan. But I couldn't use them. You know, I mean, everything's packaged up these days. I mean, if you went to a decent wool shop and they said, right, these are the range of hooks we carry, and you say, well, can I just have a practice with one? See if I can use it. But they're all packaged up, aren't they? You know, I think if I'd have ever had a wool shop again, I would have all different kinds, you know, just so that people could have a try to see whether they like them or not. Because when you're paying pounds or dollars, you know, for a hook, you want to make sure you can use it, don't you? I've bought so many hooks and had to give them away. Yeah, I mean, people say, oh, which is the right kind of hook? It's like saying, which is the right way to hold your thread. You know, everybody crochets different. Everybody holds the yarn a different way. And to me, I don't think there is a wrong and a right way. I just think the only time I query it is the people who I call that knit. They stick their crochet hook in and then they wrap it round like they're knitting. That sort of irks me a little bit. I always think that, you know, you're making work for yourself. You're not crocheting, you know, in one nice fluid movement. You know, they knit it. They're knitting the crochet rather than crocheting it. I've seen quite a few people who do that, who knit their crochet. Well, we all have our different ways. It's like me, I throw my knitting and people say, oh, you should knit continental. I've tried knitting continental and I couldn't do it. When you've been knitting a certain way for what, 60 odd years of your life, you can't suddenly swap to continental, can you? It's like I can't knit on circular needles because I can't knit. I have to knit with my needle under my arm. Yeah. Oh, and good night, Ella. No, I would never ever say to anybody you're doing it wrong. It just looks a bit funny when people crochet like they're knitting. Yeah, I can't knit on circular needles because I can't knit. I have to knit. Oops, pull it down. I have to knit with one needle under my arm because I don't hold this needle at all. I just knit like that. But I watch some people who knit free and they knit really, really slow. You know, they have the needle free and they're going. And I'm like, hurry up. Hurry up, that's so slow. Yeah, but I was a knitter first. Yeah, I'm a thrower. I've always been a thrower. I couldn't start knitting continental if I tried. You felt, oh, tatting's too slow for me. It's very pretty when it's done, but isn't it slow? I just can't knit without a needle under my arm. It's the way I was brought up. It's a northern way of knitting. And I cannot knit loose, what I call loose. Can't knit on short needles. Continental is where you hook, you hold your wool in that hand, but instead of throwing it, you hook it through like that, Nathan. You hook it through. I can't do it. It's too slow to me. But people who've mastered it and people who've learnt that way, German ladies and, you know, people that continent that way over, they knit like that. But the purl seems really complex to me. I did manage to do the continental knit stitch, but the purl stitch looked even worse than my purl stitch. But you know, it's what you're used to, isn't it? If you've done it for like 60 years and then suddenly someone said, oh, why don't you knit continental? I'm like, no, I don't want to knit continental. I have enough trouble knitting into the back of the stitch. I mean, they do say continental knitting is quicker, but I just couldn't get into the purl stitch at all. I had a friend whose mother was Dutch, and she used to knit right to left and left to right. She didn't turn her work. How the heck she did it, I don't know. But when you get to the end of the row, you know, you turn it around to go the other way. She didn't. She just started knitting the opposite way. It used to fascinate me. She could knit like the clapper. She could knit so fast. Well, the pearl stitch doesn't really bother me. It does annoy me more when I'm doing like this, the rib, when I'm swapping every 2 stitches. No, she's the only person I've ever known that could knit backwards and forwards. I suppose it's kind of like a right-handed and then a left-handed knitting, isn't it? One of the girls who used to work with me in the wool shop, she was left-handed. When anybody came in for help with a pattern, she couldn't help them because she knitted the opposite way. I mean, it looked the same when it was finished, but she couldn't help anybody who was a right-handed knitter. She was a left-handed crocheter as well. It used to fascinate me watching her. But a lot of people who are left-handed, they knit right-handed. And they crochet right-handed. Yeah, another friend of mine, she used to knit continental style, but she knitted everything in the round. So she never did any pearls, yeah. So she was a really fast knitter because she was knitting, just knitting all the time. She used to do sweaters in very fine yarn knitting, suits and that, you know, when it was fashionable to have knitted skirts, yeah. Right, Chrissy's made chocolate chip cookies here. Anybody want one? Everybody round to Chrissy's. Oh, I can't do 2 at a time socks, can I, heck? And that magic loop, that's that. Oh, God, no. I can't even knit socks on a circular needle, let alone magic loop. Oh. Nathan, don't spoil your diet. You can't have one. Oh, as long as you don't ask me to teach you, Chris, I can only do 1 sock at a time because I can only knit on 4 needles, 5 needles, sorry. I can't knit on a circular. You behave yourself. You've lost all that weight, Nathan. Don't you be sticking it back on again. I don't mind doing all this ribbing on the fronts and the sleeves. It takes forever doing all this. No, I have to use double pointed for socks. I can't cope with circular needles. Oh, don't start that, Nathan. I used to have days like that where I would eat the fridge. I thought it was just a woman's thing, that. Certain days where you snack all day long. But I know I've just eaten chocolate and crisps, but I've just not been eating. I've been going all day on like one meal, yeah. I can't do fasting because of my diabetes. When I went to the walk-in centre, though, the other week, the first thing they did was test my blood sugar, and it was normal. Not been normal in years. My daughter-in-law said, "Oh, it's because you're not eating." Come on, let me have my moment of glory. It was normal. And it isn't normal usually. 8 or 9 is about as normal as I get. I've still carried on with my injections though, and my tablets and stuff. They've upped the strength of my injections, which I don't like, but still. Got my diabetic eye review next week. Last time I went, they diagnosed I had cataracts, and I've had them done since then, so everything should be all right when they look into my eyes. You're a diabetic, are you, as well? Oh, I couldn't fast to save my life. I've not eaten when I felt sick, but I couldn't deliberately fast. I mean, Kelly used to do it because of her religion, but I couldn't do it. I could never be. I could never be a Muslim because I couldn't do the fasting in Ramadan. I would be a failed one. Are you talking about me? I'm the non-insulin one. I never remember if it's a 1 or a 2. No, they fast all day and then they eat when the sun goes down into something like that. And they can't drink. I mean, not even a sip of water. I couldn't do that. Kaz is back. I wonder if I've won the lottery. Ha, ha, ha. I did win a prize last week. Not much. I'll just leave it there because it'll buy me ticket for next month. So it's better than nothing, isn't it? Never a big winner. Never a big winner. I shall just have a quick look at my emails, but I know I will not be a winner. Chicka-chicka-choo. Chicka-chicka-choo. No, they haven't told me anything. They have told me nothing. Nothing at all. I've just won a necklace. Just won a necklace. Wouldn't be me, would it, unless I'm buying a necklace? Huh? Just paying the lady or the gentleman, whoever it is who's selling it to me. Well, I would if it wasn't going round and round and round and round and round. Sometimes my internet is so slow. It's got halfway there. Welcome, it says. Right, that's that paid for. I think actually it was 2 necklaces in a bundle I was bidding on. Yes, I've paid. I have paid. No, it hasn't told me I've won anything. Sadly, sadly, sadly. I got told I hadn't got to die to fast. It plays havoc with your blood sugars, I got told, so I don't know. Suppose it depends which doctor or which nurse you speak to, yeah. Well, it's probably because you've had the oven on, isn't it? Open the window, Chris. And if it's just as hot outside, you don't want to, do you? Put your aircon on. That's one thing we don't need in the UK. A fan's good enough for us. I've not had my fan on all year yet. Mine was normal because I'm barely eating, I think. I always eat some kind of a breakfast, but not when I get up at first. It's more like a brunch I have. I tend to only eat 2 meals a day anyway, which is bad because I get told that I should eat every 4 hours or something like that. I love the heat, Chris. I absolutely blossom in the heat. The funny thing is I don't sweat. I used to sweat when I was younger, but I don't sweat. Other people are dripping wet through. Oh, 75F, that'd be gorgeous, that. It's 17 degrees C here. That's why I've got a cardigan on. I don't know what 17 degrees C is in Fahrenheit. My God, if we had 90 degrees heat outside in the UK, we'd all throw a party, I think. I don't understand centigrade. What on earth is centigrade? Why do we have to have centigrades over here in the UK? I haven't got a fog what it is. Get rid of them. Why does my phone go on dim? '62F. See, I told you it wasn't hot. I would love it to be 80. It's the sea breeze, you see. It takes away the heat. Right, okay, Jane. We'll see you next week. You'll be moaning when it's snowing. Make the most of your 80-odd degrees hot. When it's cold, raining and snowing, you'll all be moaning. That's one thing we don't really get here because we're too close to the sea. The salt air dissipates the ice and the snow. The 80 degrees would be nice, wouldn't it? Be able to sit outside and bask in it. I don't know whether I could do 100 though. I might have to put my sun hat on. Oh my goodness. I can't stay up too late tonight because I've got to be up in the morning to go to the walk-in centre to have my blood done. I hope I get one that knows what she's doing. My diabetes nurses are great. They don't leave a mark. They just go in, get the blood. And I don't like the ones who literally have to have a stab at it to find it. I know my veins go, they roll out of the way, my veins. But my diabetic nurses can do it. I don't know how other people can't. And I can't watch, otherwise I faint. I don't even know what they're taking blood for. What they're looking for. Don't know. I think they just like taking blood from me. An MRI. I've had dozens of them things. I don't mind the big scanners. I just don't like the mobile ones. You feel like you're being threaded down the mouth of a cannon. Hi, Patricia. Yeah, I'm still here at the minute, although I'm getting tired at the moment. I'll probably do to about another half hour and then that'll be it. Once it gets to midnight, I'll be like Cinderella. I'll be going to my bed. Well, I've not done bad. I've knitted my ribbon. Well, some of it. I don't know how many inches I've got to knit. I forgot to look. Oh, 6.5 inches. Way, way off beam. Over here in the UK, we don't have to pay, but you just can't get one. It's free when you can get it, but you have to wait and wait and wait for things like MRI scans. I think they hope you'll have died before you get there. What pattern am I using? I'm using my very old one that I've knitted before. One in red on there. You're lucky. We don't get physiotherapy over here. We go in, they tell you what's wrong with you, and they give you a bit of paper and tell you to do the exercises at home. What happened to the days where you got massage, and heat lamps and heat treatment? The nearest I got to anything was when I did water aerobics. They had a pool at the hospital, but then they got rid of the pool because they wanted the room for something else. And no, they didn't. They don't let you do anything. And when I was in the pool, there was a young girl there. Oh, getting the doctor to show up. I've only seen one once. I got diagnosed by phone again. Oh, it's just your IBS again. How do you know? How do you know it's my IBS again? It's been going on for 6 weeks now. How do you know it's just that? It's very difficult to diagnose, he says over the phone. I thought, well, it would be. When you're 2 miles away on the other end of a phone, it would be difficult to diagnose, wouldn't it? Oh, you're back again now, John. Where have you been? I didn't know you'd gone. Thought you just gone quiet. It's the same all over, I think. I watched that, that ambulance program on the telly, and they're just overstretched, aren't they? There's no facilities over here. And then when you get to hospital, you've got about a 5-hour wait when you get there. Sometimes you're in a corridor. They put you on a trolley in a corridor, don't they, when you get there? Yeah, I think I'd call a taxi if I was really ill, if I needed to go to hospital. Yeah, if you have a heart attack or a stroke, because you've got to give you injections with a stroke in the first few hours to reverse the effects. Yeah, when I was little, the doctors used to come to the house. Can't remember when they last did that. I think the last time anybody called at my house was to see my son. He had abscess inside his ear, and he'd been up all night screaming. And when I phoned, they're saying, "Can't you bring him in?" And I said, "No, I can't." I said, "He's 2 and he's been up all night screaming." His ear were like absolutely bright red. Anyway, eventually a doctor come, and he said, "Don't you ever let them put you off again when it's a child." He says, "I will come out in the middle of the night when it's a child." But now, I don't think they make any house calls here now. Yeah, then they wonder why people go to A&E. They go to A&E because they can't get any help anywhere else. I mean, I went to the walk-in centre. I didn't want to do that, but it was the only way I could get. I couldn't see my doctor. At least when I went to the walk-in centre, I saw a practice nurse. Our doctor's office has a sink and a seat. That's about it. They don't do x-rays. They don't do anything like that at the doctor's here. You get referred for every single little thing, yeah. Yeah, the ambulances have got sometimes 2-hour wait outside the hospital before they'll even let them in. Rubbish here. people say, well, at least you don't have to pay, but oh boy, do we have to wait. Right, I see you, Nancy. Bye now. It would still be the same, Enid. They just don't have the staff, the ambulances, too many people putting out calls, yeah. I've got all old lady bits. Back, front, side, hip, knee, shoulders. All of my bits are old lady bits. And those bits as well, they're old lady bits. I've seen one doctor in about 3 years, Nathan. Yeah, it's wonderful, the NHS, when it works. When it works, it's wonderful. Aren't you lucky, Enid? We would have had 5 phone calls if we were lucky. Well, mine hasn't gone away, Nathan. I've had mine for about 15, 20 years, yeah. Well, can we have your doctor's appointment, Enid? People in the UK would queue up to take it off you. No, they don't operate. I've had a hernia right across my stomach there, and they won't operate. They said mine isn't a true hernia because the contents of my stomach isn't, my stomach wall is bulging. It's bulging really badly, but because the contents of my stomach are not coming outwards, it's not a true hernia. Now, hang on a minute, you know. Do you know, I think at the moment I would pay $350 to see a flipping doctor if I got any sense out of one. Oh, I'd pay that. I would pay that if I could have an X-ray when I wanted one. Or if I could see a doctor when I wanted one, I would pay it. Tell me about it. I might be poor, but I'll flipping pay it. They say money can't buy you happiness, but it can buy you a lot of healthcare. My necklace keeps going inside my dress. Well, my son's friend's coming tomorrow. His mechanic, stroke best friend, because his car broke down. It's electrical fault, so Ian can't do that. I can hear car doors opening and closing. My next door's gone out. Him and his missus went out. They don't go out often, but they went out tonight. They must have decided to go out for a drink. I've had enough of that now. I've crocheted about 3 inches. Oh, nearly harpooned myself with my knitting needle there. I mean, you may have to pay in America to see your doctor, but at least you get to see one. Yeah, my son used to get his inhalers by him in Spain for next to nothing. You get over here, he has to pay for his prescriptions. About £9 for each prescription, I think, over here. Even though we have the NHS, we've still got to pay for prescriptions. I don't because I'm old, but he does because he's still young. And they've put the retirement age up now to 67, I think it is. So he'll have to pay for his prescriptions till he's 67. I was lucky, I stopped paying for mine when I was 60, but they've changed. It happens all the time here, Patricia, because they don't. You know, if you've got the money and you can see a specialist, you can see them tomorrow. But if you don't have the money, then sad to say, you're at the back of the flipping queue. Our prescription charges are £9, which is about what, $10 something for every item that we have on a prescription. Yeah. My son's asthma's been an awful lot better since we moved here. The air must be a lot clearer near the sea. I'm supposed to take an inhaler, but I don't. I've been fine since I've been here. I have allergenic asthma. 935 is it? Yeah, I knew it was something like that. Yeah, I'm not got asthma all the time. I'm just allergic to certain things. It's the same in Scotland, I think, Laura. I don't think you pay. Yeah, the sea air is doing my asthma. A power of God, yeah. You have to move to the sea, Enid. The sea air does your lungs a power of God. My son was using his inhaler all the time before we moved here. But he hardly uses it. Well, he does use it, but he hardly uses it compared to what he used to use before. I'm lucky, really, Nathan. I only suffer with hay fever on very few occasions. I'm allergic to tree pollen, not grass, tree pollen. It's windy and it's cold a lot of the times, Laura. Everybody else is getting a heat wave, but not us. It was warm today, but breezy. Allegra. That's a car over here. It's a motor car, Allegra. Yeah, I get hay fever long before anybody else does because I get it from the trees. But people can cut grass and everything like that, and it doesn't affect me in the slightest. I can't remember when I last used an inhaler. It's probably well out of date, my inhaler. If I go to a hospital or anything, they say, bring your inhaler with you. And I'm thinking, it's out of date. I'm not bringing it. Oh, I'm not looking forward to it. I have to go about 4 miles up the seafront on my scooter tomorrow. Mind it should be warm, so I'll be all right. At least it won't be raining. It's right at the other end of Fleetwood to me. But I can't ask anybody for a lift because they'd be messing with the car. No, we don't get them free here. You have to pay for them here. That's why I don't have one, because I said I don't need one. I'm not type 1. If I was type 1 diabetic, I would have to test. Because I'm type 2, they said it's no good me testing every day because it would give me false symptoms. My project is knitting. I've made it before in white and now I'm making it in cream. That one. It's very, very pale cream. It looks almost like ivory. But a lot of my dresses have got like little, this one looks white, but it's actually kind of ivory, yeah. Yeah, no, our system's rubbish over here. Rubbish. It was all right when it worked, but it hasn't worked for quite a number of years now. Not enough money spent on the NHS and too many people wanting to use it. Unless your arm's hanging off, you don't get an operation here. Scheduled operations are 2, 3, 4 years you can wait here. I waited over 5 years for my spinal operation. It was cancelled on me 3 times when I was actually in the hospital. When it came to the 4th time, I told them I wasn't going home. Tried to cancel it the 4th time. I said, I'm not going anywhere. You're not cancelling it on me again. Oh, it could be any time for an MRI here. It could be 3, 6 months. Maybe a year. Unless it's an emergency. The NHS is very good if it's an emergency. If you have a heart attack or you get run over in the street, it's great. They take, But anything what I call routine, say you need a new hip, you would have to wait and wait and wait and wait and wait and wait till your hip dropped off before you get to see anybody. That's why I won't even go with mine. I won't go. I need another new knee and I need a right hip. And I won't even go and find out. I won't even go there. Same with my spine. My spine's cracking up and giving me loads of pain all the time. But I won't go because there's no point. They'll just take some more painkillers and that's all they'll do. They told me that my spine's just crumbling to bits and there's nothing they can do. They can't do another operation because they've got nothing to pin to because my spine's so unstable. So, in other words, Janet, you're too blooming old. Just die and leave us all alone. Once you get past a certain age in the UK, you're over the hump and you're forgotten. Yeah. I can't ride a bike anymore. I mean, I can't ride a bike, but I can't balance on one anyway if I could. I used to have injections in my spine, but the NHS have stopped now. Sue can still get them in Scotland. It's a different healthcare system, you see. But here, no, it's not stopped. The NHS said it's too expensive, they can't fund it. I'd be all right with it. Well, I would be if I could pedal one. My friend's she's bought a tricycle because she can't balance on two wheels. But I couldn't pedal, because of my back. I mean, I bought a little set of pedals, that you just pedal. But I couldn't do it. Yeah, electric trike. Could do one of them. I want a mobility scooter that looks like a motorbike. There's a couple of people in Cleveland who've got them. But actually, no, I want a scooter that's got one of those tops on it. I am sick of getting wet. But I've got another 18 months to go on my contract before I can change my scooter. So when he brought me other scooter back, he said, we'll have to discuss it when it's time to change your scooter. But you've got another 18 months to go on it. You sign a contract for 3 years, you'll keep it for 3 years. So I can't get one. Well, I'm sick of going down the seafront with it lashing in my face. It's like needle. It's like you don't need exfoliation here. It's like needles in your face. Sandblasted, my son calls it. Because sometimes you get the sand coming with the wind and it's like battering your face. I'm going down the seafront. I've got my hood like that. I've got my glasses that come right round. And then I've got my coat fastened up over here. No, I don't have a driver's license anymore. I gave it up when I was 70. I didn't see any point because I haven't got a car. And you don't need a driver's license for a scooter. For a mobility scooter, I should say, not for an ordinary scooter. It's a nightmare on here because they have them electric scooters here. They go zipping past you. You can't hear them coming. Oh yeah, I'd sit there baking with my sun hat on. That's all I would need, a sun hat, because I don't sweat. I've not had my shorts on this year. I mean, I don't wear them out in the street, don't get me wrong. And they're not short shorts, they're like down to the knee shorts, yeah. But I haven't had them on this year. I've had my pedal pushers on, the ones that come halfway up your calf. I've had them on. but only 2 days, I think. Today I've got my long dress on. You want to live in an igloo? Oh God, no, I don't like the cold. I don't do cold. I can't sleep unless I have my hot pad in bed with me on my back. Whilst I had an oatmeal bath. My mum used to give me those because I had eczema when I was little. Yeah, you don't have to shave your legs either, Laura, when you wear your long dress. Although not that many hairs grow anymore on my legs, but it's one of the perks of growing old. You stopped having hairy armpits and things like that. I don't know why, I just like a long dress. I just don't like one that stops at the knees, especially on the scooter. You know, if you had a short dress on, it's not very ladylike, is it? You could be going along showing your pants, couldn't you, you know? Yeah, my mum used to put oats in an old nylon stocking and hang it underneath the tap. So when it was running from my bath, it'd be running past the oatmeal. Yeah. Oh gosh, I used to be like that. Patricia, I used to be like a gorilla. Black hairs on my legs and my arms, but now look, my arms are so pale you can't see them anymore. I used to get teased something awful when I was younger. I would never wear short sleeve dresses. But I used to make my own summer dresses so that they could have um, long sleeves. Hello, Jennifer. Because I didn't like showing my arms because I had black hairy arms they used to have when I was younger. And people used to say I was a monkey. So, oh yeah, well, it's got to the witching hour now. It's 7 minutes past midnight. And my little eyes are starting to shut. Yeah, they're starting to close. Have you finished chasing Lady Jane around, Miguel? She stopped giving her cheek. Trixie's good at that. You tell her to do something she doesn't want to do. Face. She's got that kind of face, Trixie. She's. My legs used to be awful. My arms and my legs, I had black hairy arms and black hairy legs. Under my arms, yeah. Oh God, yeah. Now all I get is hairs on my chin and a moustache. Stops growing in one place and it starts growing on your chin. Yeah. I'm getting tired. Can't you see my eyes are going? My mother used to always tell with my eyes and start going. Yeah, and I've got to get up in the morning. I've got to be having the blood test for, I think it's something past 10. And it's about a good half hour away on my scooter, so I need to be getting to my beddy bows. So thank you everybody for keeping me company. And I hope you've all enjoyed yourself, and I will see you all next week. So bye everybody. Thanks for your company. Thanks for coming. Hope you've enjoyed the party. Bye now. Bye.